Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Pharmacy Benefit Facts in under 15 minutes. One of the biggest hurdles or opportunities, depending on how you look at it, I guess, in the pharmacy benefit space is the pursuit of transparency. Yeah, roll your eyes all you want. Lord knows we do when we constantly hear that T word. But transparency in the healthcare space really is vital for building a better future. And when it's done right and not just thrown around as a flashy phrase, transparency really can drive some great value. I think historically, transparent PBMs have been defined as those with business models that pass through discounts and rebates to the client. However, we know there is so much more that goes into transparency than just pass through pricing and rebates. And so I am super excited to introduce our 4-part series, Not Your Grandma's Transparency. We are going above and beyond the BS to provide some real meaning to this marketing buzzword. And today's topic is PBM revenue sources. And I have TrueScript's dynamic duo, Lisa Gish and Chastity Matthews, with me today to lay into this topic and shed some light on how a PBM's revenue sources can impact their ability to make unbiased decisions that are aligned with the clients' and members' best interest, aka their ability to be transparent. So, Lisa G, before we discuss what a great PBM partner should be doing to go above and beyond the transparency BS, I'd like for you to set the stage and just provide some insight on the various factors that can enable PBMs to expand their revenue sources and increase their profit.
Well, Allie, what you know as well as I do is that it's all about profit. And none of us would be in business if we weren't trying to make a dollar, right? But it's how we make it and who knows how we make it that makes the most sense and that matters the most in the long run. So, what we've seen happen across the several past years is that we've got new, innovative ways for PBMs to make money, often seldom disclosed in full or even in part. And you think about the obvious things, the ways that you would imagine admin fees for the services they do. Well, many PBMs today don't even charge admin fees, or they charge admin fees that are far less than what it takes to even keep their lights on. So you have to wonder, how are they keeping their lights on? And that's really, I think what's at the forefront of this discussion today, right?
Definitely, that revenue is flowing to the PBMs from multiple stakeholders in the supply chain and not just the payers, which we know are the members and the clients. So it's always a little fun to me to paint the picture of how convoluted and messy things can be, so that when we're able to present a straightforward and square shooter solution, it's an even bigger breath of fresh air. And I know there's a lot of, a lot of those ways they can generate revenue outside of the, what it should be, which is the admin fee. A lot of that is brought to the table by misaligned incentives. So can you talk about some of those?
Absolutely. So, one smaller area that's worth mentioning, because you talked about the flow of money coming in from the plan and the member, but there are revenues that come from pharmacies. There are still PBMs that impose fees on pharmacies, fees to participate in networks, other fees that are involved in just generating the claims process. And we won't spend a lot of time on those, but just know that we think those are egregious, right? There's ways that you can make money and don't have to have those fees involved. But when you look at what the PBM's doing on an outright basis, so they have monies that are wrapped up with manufacturers, drug manufacturers, and revenue streams that are coming in. And we focused all of our attention for years on the word rebate. But the reality is the rebate money, the true dollars that are attached to the word rebates of some definition, really aren't the most in terms of dollars coming from manufacturers. So additional administrative fees that are generated just from managing formularies or other kind of definitions behind those activities, managing formularies, managing the rebate process. administrative fees whenever you have inflation that happens on the cost of a drug. You add all of those up, and they far outweigh what money's come in with the label rebate today. And not too long ago, there were Senate committee hearings, and all three of the major PBMs sat in front of the Senate committee, and they talked about how they're passing greater than 95% of rebates back to their clients. And that's probably true. But what they don't talk about is the other manufacturer revenue. So it's a huge portion of their revenue model. Another thing comes from just dispensing drugs. And most PBMs own pharmacies, and so it's okay. Every pharmacy that dispenses a drug should make money off of it, but how much? What is reasonable, and what's that cost structure look like? And we can't discount the fact that there is money involved in dispensing drugs. There's just inherent volume of money involved there. So whenever we see PBMs that have exclusivity arrangements in place for the use of their pharmacies, you also have a revenue stream. And so when PBMs that own pharmacies are again able to offer zero or very low admin fee, we can look at all these ways and figure out real quick where their revenues are coming from. And you also have to think about what's behind the money, what drives that, and how does that influence some of their decision making. So there's two real easy ways that you can think about revenue streams that some people just may not be given enough credit for.
Yeah, and on the PBM owned pharmacies piece, I was recently reading a report from, it was part of the PBM accountability project, and it was that PBM's gross profit from PBM owned mail order and specialty pharmacies increased from 8.9 billion in 2018, I think, to 10.1 billion with a B in 2019. Obviously today it's 2023, so I can't imagine what that number is, but it's easy to see there's a lot going on there. Okay, so with all that said, and painting that picture of how messy and gross everything can be, let's cut to the chase. Chas, I would love for you to dive into, how does TrueScripts combat all of this? How do we generate revenue? What are our sources? What are we doing to unmessy this picture?
Absolutely. And I think one of the most important questions that you can ever ask a PBM is, how do you generate revenue? How do you make your money? They should be able to answer that quickly and without a lot of I don't knows, let me get back to you, right? It should be very, very simple. In our opinion, PBM should make their money from the payers and the payers only. So that is the clients for the most part, right? Whenever you're looking at how can you talk about that easily? First and foremost, we have a 9-page pharmacy services agreement. We outright say what we charge the client is what we pay the pharmacy. So we're not making any revenue from spread pricing. We flat out say we pass through all rebates, and the only manufacturer revenue that we deal with are truly rebates. And then we have a page of our fee schedule. So you know exactly how we are generating our revenue. We also give full access of data to our clients to reconcile. What we're billing them is what we're paying the pharmacy. What rebates we're receiving is what they are receiving. It's all about access to data, simplistic fee schedules. And to Lisa's earlier point, we're not a not-for-profit, right? We're all here to make a fair wage. And so I think it's just having the oversight and the understanding that, yes, we're here to make money, but we're not being egregious about it. Our fee schedule, very easy to understand. Per script admin fee. To us, that means it doesn't matter if it is a $500 drug or a $5,000 drug. We are not incentivized to go one way or the other. It is the same admin fee across the board. So it's about making the right decision for the patient at the time. We do have a rebate aggregation, administration fee. Again, per script basis, very easy to reconcile. And that just kind of continues to fund the ever living project. I'll call it a project. That's probably a nice word for it, of the rebate game. And how do we continue to navigate those waters and ensure we're getting back to our clients exactly what they deserve. And then we do have a shared savings fee schedule for some of our programs, and again, very easily reconcilable. And how we calculate those shared savings is also fully disclosed. So everybody understands from point A to point Z exactly how TrueScripts is making their money.
I love all that. Can you elaborate a little more on where we are starting with the shared savings fee?
Absolutely. So let me start with where a lot of the industry starts, and then I'll explain where we're at. So many of the bolt-on programs or the sourcing vendors that are out there, they may be starting at 100% of AWP price, so no discounts involved. They may start with potentially what the prior incumbent was charging, or maybe what the drug charge was on the medical side before it maybe became an RX claim. We start with what the price of that drug would have been through a contracted specialty pharmacy. So if we had done nothing, here's what the price would have been for that medication. And then where did we land after whatever funding sourcing we were able to do? And so it is truly based upon the actual savings and the work that our program has completed.
And I think that's, you hit the nail on the head there. It's based on the work that we've done. Y'all, this is so huge. The admin fee is really the only way that it makes sense in my head. You are hiring a vendor to do a service just the same as you would hire any employee to do a service. And you know what that employer or vendor is hired to do and what you are going to pay them for the job they are doing. This just makes sense. And there it is. I mean, it's straightforward. It's simple. This is how it should be. It doesn't need to be messy and convoluted. So this is what we're proud of. This is what makes us tick. And if y'all would like to learn more about TrueScripts and our commitment to transparency, I've yet to find a better word. I know that it has turned into a marketing buzzword, but I think it's here to stay. So if we can continue this conversation, we would love to do so. You guys can reach us at partnerwithus@truescripts.com or reach out to Lisa, Chastity, or I on LinkedIn, or you can find us on the website. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk again soon.